Decision tables. Decision logic is composed of multiple business rules. And each business rule has certain components. These are criteria, which are conditions and constraints, and consequences, which are actions. Decision logic can also be modeled in three different ways. First, a decision table, which is a tabular structure of logic based on conditions and actions, and that's what we'll be talking about in this video. But the second is natural language, which is a model used to describe and implement business rules close to spoken language. And the third type is a tree, which is a hierarchical structure of tree nodes. In other words, tree is a visual editor for nested logic. So let's get back to the decision table. The decision table is an approach to modeling logic and rules in a systematic way that represents in tabular form all the combinations of possible conditions for a decision that needs to be made. And there are scenarios where using a decision table makes it a lot easier to model rules directly from system requirements. A decision table simply maps all the conditions and actions into tabular columns, and this allows different rules to use a combination of the available conditions and actions. As you can see here, the conditions and the actions are represented by the columns of the table. And this type of decision table is known as a vertical decision table. In a decision table, you might refer to the conditions as inputs and the actions as the outputs. Notifications in decision tables work based on an action column with a notice type. In other words, you set the type of action to notice. So that's just a basic overview of what a decision table is. If you're interested in creating projects with decision tables like this in our open decision intelligence platform, you can get started at FlexRule.com.